co-founder of Fundstrat Global Advisors. He joins us now to interpret more of what Powell was really trying to say here. What do you think, Tom?
Well, I think the Fed's been playing this crisis correctly, using the right playbook, which is introducing a lot of emergency measures, really also communicating to markets that the level of effort and liquidity available to the Fed is far beyond what they've already done today, so that markets don't have to worry. But as you're pointing out correctly, the Fed can't stop the disease from spreading. That's the metric that Chairman Powell's following. And he can't write checks to America, which is where the suffering's taking place.
I love what you just said, Tom. You can't write checks to America when you're at the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve is in charge of the money supply. They don't do what Treasury does or what the government does. And yet I would imagine that people in Congress, or at least some people in Congress, would say, well, we've given a lot of money right now. Look at the stock market. It's up 963 points. Yes, that's people's 401ks. What is the counter argument there? Because at some point, we do need to continue to think about people who are still on the unemployment rolls. 36.5 million people have filed for unemployment benefits. Does that worry you?
It's tragedy. The world is shut down because of a virus that America did not ask for. But the stock market doesn't have to collapse the way the economy collapsed, because we're not necessarily in a normal business cycle. I think the stock market's message is really saying, as long as credit's functioning and as long as too much damage isn't being done during the shutdown period, the stock market's kind of telling us that there's a pretty vigorous recovery. And I don't know when that starts, but that's the message I hope that I think anyone who is currently not working should realize. The stock market's not about rich people getting richer. It's really telling us that the future isn't really that negative.
You have clients, as I understand it, in about 16 different countries. What are you hearing on the ground there? And who looks like they're pretty much forging ahead?
So we've really diversified client base. It keeps us up 24 hours because we're hearing from everybody all the time. And I think that the universal message from everyone is really that the world is really uncertain because everyone's experiencing this crisis at the same time. Maybe Asia a little earlier and Europe a little earlier, but not by much. But the good news is that in places like Asia, they haven't had to shut down the economy, and there is some semblance of normalcy coming back. People talking about, tennis clubs opening, kids going back to school, and that sense of panic that, really gripped the northeast of the U.S. Is fading. So I think that's why I don't advise people to think that we're going to be in a lockdown crisis forever. It really will depend on treatment and vaccines, but also the disease gets controlled.
People want to know what the trade is now. We are up nearly 1,000 points on the Dow at this moment. S&P's up 100. NASDAQ's up 245. At the beginning of the year, we talked about so-called granny shots, when you kind of do an underhanded bloop and it's a winner anyway. Give us your best shots here at the moment that you think still have good room to run.
Well, we still like the idea of trying to pick, like you said, the granny shots for our clients, and it's a barbell. So you want to have some high quality growth names like Apple and Google, even names like Tesla. But we also want to own some of the stocks that are at the epicenter of this crisis because they got unfairly punished during this crisis, but they're actually good businesses. And that'll be things like airlines, some of the big global investment banks, even some of the restaurant names, but even companies like Tempur-Pedic and consumer names. So there's a whole swath of names that have not really recovered as much as the S&P has, and those are the ones that are going to make the bigger move once the recovery starts.
Tom Lee, I'm seeing Deere, Phillips 66, Kansas City Southern, Booking Holdings, Monster Beverage, a lot of names here. We'll put them all up on Facebook.com/Liz Claman. Tom Lee, it's great to see you. Thank you very much. Folks,